1111. Have you been seeing these numbers everywhere? By Linda Lubin. July 1, 2014. Website: lindalubin.blogspot.com. Produced by Higher Self.
How many of you have had the 1111 experience? Hands up. I'm seeing a sea of hands waving out there. In case you have not, let me tell you of my own 1111 initiations. Several years ago, I had heard nothing of planetary awakening of consciousness or the shift. For weeks, and eventually months, I found myself just happening to glance at the clock at 11:11 a.m. or p.m. Also 1:11. I'm not a clock watcher, so this struck me as an odd coincidence. Time rolled on and it began happening with increasing frequency. Finally, it had my full attention. What the heck was going on? I decided to look to numerology, about which I knew nada, and the meaning of 1, or 11 was interesting, but nothing to shout about. Then it occurred to me to Google 1111. Go ahead and try it, if you haven't already. Pretty impressive. Turns out I was hardly alone in this experience. For example, here's what Uri Geller has to say. I started experiencing this rather bizarre occurrence when I was 40 years old. At first I thought they were coincidences. I would stand with my back to a digital clock and something made me turn around, and I would notice that the time would be 11:11. These incidents intensified. I would be checked into hotel rooms on floor 11, room 1111. I started noticing these digits on computers, microwave ovens, cars, documents, etc. I decided to write about it on my website. I was immediately inundated by hundreds of emails from all around the world. Individuals were telling me their own 11:11 stories, almost always saying I thought it only happened to me. It is difficult for me to decipher what this is all about, but my intuition tells me it's positive. Unbeknown to me at the time, this was the beginning of my fascination with the planetary awakening. It was a wake-up call of sorts, an initiation into the aha of realization that something big was going on, and I wanted to know what it was. What had started out seeming to be a mere coincidence, evolved into something that proved to be a trigger, an activation of sorts. My consciousness began to awaken and take in the information that I had been oblivious to prior to my 11:11 experiences. And this is what frequently happens, when you begin seeing these numbers, something shifts within. Once I began to get it, and realize that seeing these numbers were meaningful, I then began seeing other multiple numbers on a regular basis. I would go through a period where I was seeing multiples of 5 everywhere, daily. And then it might switch to multiples of 3, or 4, or 6, or 7, or 12, and so forth. If you are one who has been seeing 11:11 for months or years, or decades, then know that you have been receiving a download whenever this happens. Wonder why you have been evolving faster than the speed of light? Do you look back at the person you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5, and think to yourself, who the heck was that person? You have evolved so much you barely recognize the old you anymore. And so it goes. Not only are you as an individual evolving at warp speed, the entire planet is doing the same. In recent years, many of you have experienced life-altering changes. However, even if you did not, you probably felt the seismic energetic shifts that were occurring on the planet. You felt it on a visceral level, as the energy shifts were having a huge impact on us physically. And you felt it emotionally as well. Your perspective changed on many aspects of life, and this change was so thorough that you may not even realize it. You may have so fully let go of the old beliefs that you don't remember having held them just a short time ago. The process has been one of pushing all that no longer serves us to the surface, and then clearing it out to make way for that which is built on a solid foundation. This is true on the personal level, and on the planetary level. Look at your own life, and take a note of all that is happening around the globe. This process will continue for many years. It has taken millennium for all of this darkness to be created, so we cannot expect it to move out overnight. However, as this deconstruction continues, the construction of the new will pick up speed and begin to grab our attention, giving us a heightened sense of hope, and an enlightened awareness of the potential for the creation of our new Earth. We are now coming to the tipping point in this process. In the past decade, the focus has been on the deconstruction of all that no longer serves us. And while this will continue for many years, the construction of the new began to dominate in 2013. These are exciting and fascinating times we are moving through. Know that you chose to be alive at this time, to experience this shift. You are participating in it, and the more conscious you are of that, the more you will be able to effectively contribute to this process. We are individually and collectively creating the new Earth. Doesn't get more exciting than that.